that early on. So probably for the best. But look at Malady on top, by the way. He's moving straight into them.
Well, he's going to be taking a bit of a beating. Is probably not going to die, but it is some nice harass from Tidebound that's gonna be helping their bottom lane. And Tidebound do get 3 runes, so the 2 on the bottom lane both went to them. He's gonna be canceling the Twin Gate move from Malady, and well, Tinker just has a bit of a better stats than Muerta, and of course with Tofu coming over, it's time to move away.
A bit of a better stats. He's got 7 armor and almost 60 damage. This hero is just ridiculous.
Oh boy, this is one thing that we haven't discussed in the draft, and that is the minus armor potential of that top lane. Muerta has 3 armor, which, you know, it's kind of in the middle, not bad, not great, but versus the Gush and the little Shredder, it's gonna hurt you.
Absolutely. Even Clinks with 5 armor. Of course, on the other side, you do have Tar Bomb to work with, so you can slow them down a little bit, get on top of them. But this is a lane where if they get on top of you, you might fall. And they do have a cookie, so definitely a way to get on top of Clinks or Muerta.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, we haven't discussed this one. You talked about the Ringmaster being good versus the Terrorblade illusions, but what about the laning stage? How do these two fare versus the Tinker Terrorblade?
I think it just makes everything easier, right? Like you can outpush the lane with the bots, you can heal up the TB. Then again, I feel like once you get level 3, you might have an advantage on Tidebound. You have so much burst. Like between the Tame the Beasts level 2 and maybe Bach getting level 2 Sandstorm, it might not even, it doesn't have to be called burst, it's just a lot of magic damage.
Yep, generally it can be problematic for them. They're going to be looking towards Y, and that minus armor really coming in handy. That's from a pretty much 100 to 0, Muerta dead.
Yeah, not even a cookie, by the way, used. Just Scatter Blast and Lil Shredder coming into play. It's a... I'd be very happy to play this lane as Tofu or the Tide Hunter.
Yeah, it is, and you'd probably be very unhappy to be a Muerta there. Clinks has 5 armor, so he has a bit more to work with. The poor Muerta, he doesn't stand a chance.
It's just that as Muerta, your sole job here is to... they use meta down bottom, but yeah, they can't really get a kill. As Muerta, you're basically Deadshot in this lane. That's it. She'll sit around in this lane and Deadshot if they try to go on Clinks. That's your responsibility. Maybe pull a little bit.
What is my purpose? You use Deadshot. That's what you do, though. Isn't much different from what generally happens with Muertas. How about the mid lane? This Dragonite is demolishing Quinn.
Maybe we'll see a kill.
Malady dropping low. They did use the block grenade, standing his ground. The repair bots keeping him alive and doing a decent amount of damage to Tidebound, who will get pushed back. Watson also very nice positioning.
Yeah, before we talk about mid lane, this would happen down bottom. You just got the end of it, but basically Tinker was solo zoning both of them out. Like he's sitting under their tier 1 tower and baiting them to go on him, and he still doesn't die. Like, how many supports can do that versus Ringmaster and Sand King? I would say almost no one else.
Yeah, it's kind of an ogre approach, right? And I don't know if the ogre would be able to do it. Just get stunned and smacked, but the repair bot's a bit,
yep,
bit too annoying.
Speaking of mid lane, nothing to say. Yeah, doing quite a lot better. 13 denies on the DK, and this was an Ember pick into the Dragonite. They already knew what was going to happen. I mean, Quinn, maybe he's still recovering from last night. It's been he had a very difficult last game.
Yep, definitely did. You know, you pick the Huskar, you think you're gonna crush your opponents, and then suddenly you find out that the story is not going to be going the way that you want to. But one thing that Tidebound, from the games that we've seen, that they're very good at doing is slowing down the game. With the blood grenade, Bach getting close. He needs to get him low, and there it is. One charge is being used. Bach is now going to be the one taking a beating from them. This Tinker is just too hard of a kill. Maybe you should just give up.
Yeah, he truly is. Yeah, maybe you should just give up. Just don't go for it. Bach lacked a bit of mana to instantly pop Burrow Strike. I believe that also was a bit of a problem there. Maybe they could have gotten it if he committed, but like you said, sometimes it's better to give up, especially versus repair bots.
Try to farm. I mean, the Sand King is farming solidly in that lane. Sure, the Terrorblade is having a relatively free time, but you are getting a decent amount of farm. So it's not like if some stacks come out, it's not like the Sand King is going to be suffering in any way.
One who's really not suffering at all is this Ace Tidehunter. 3,000 net worth, top of the charts at the moment, just absolutely having a blast up here. This is going to be some most likely phases into Vlad's pipe build. I'd like to see at least the Morbid Mask just for the heals, and then you can basically leave him alone and move mid.
They're looking towards the Ember. Impalement Arts, Dragon Tail, none of it really matters. He will be fine, and the Siege Creep does die. So the first Dragon form not really doing a massive amount of damage to the tower. A lot of traffic here around the mid lane. Really not much going to be happening.
The thing is, they can still stick around because Ember is very low leveled, right? Because of all of those denies, I'm sure that Nothing to Say is calling for all these rotations. Kill him or control him before he gets 6, right?
Thinking about killing, they want Bug. Gonna be using the Burrow Strike. It's only level 1, so really not that much range, but enough for them not to go forward. Very nice usage of the dead shot, and maybe Malady will finally be taken down, but he's all alone. Nope, he's gonna be taking them down, tanking everything and allowing for the Terrorblade to come close, and of course, stealing the Wisdom Shrine as well. On the other side, Tidebound, they cannot do the same.
That was 2 against 3, and they take down the Shrine as well. Plus they get the kill. Of course, Tofu is now here too. And that was just incredible from the two of them. This is a huge win.
He's not even connected on Bach, their mid Burrow Strike, but Gaimin getting everything. Only 2 kills so far in this game, so in terms of that, it hasn't really been an action-packed game, but the moves that Gaimin have made have really been impactful.
Absolutely. Tinker, minute 8 is level 6, by the way. He's about to hit it. He's farming a bit in the jungle. And this is the problem as well. Ace can solo. Like even without the Morbid Mask. I was thinking maybe he'd go for it just for the regen value. But even without the Vlads, he's just able to absolutely solo against Shiro. I think they need to move the clicks. Very soon we might see a Shiro action happening.
We'll see where he goes, but yeah, he does need to contribute to the damage department, because that is where Tidebound are most definitely lacking. This is one thing that we haven't talked about in the draft, but until they get like a blink on Bach, I don't really know. Even if they get a blink on the DK, he blink stuns somebody, but how did they kill them?
Yeah, and Bach went for Vanguard, so it will be a bit slower of a blink on the Sand King. That is a bit of a problem because you're basically playing, how to put it, like a lane rock of a hero when you're this kind of a Sand King. You need to go to a lane and commit to it, but you can't really initiate as hard this early on, of course.
Shiro is going to be coming, Tar Bomb available. Let's see how much damage he can do to Tofu. He was under vision, so Shiro, they know that he was there, and he really needs to be careful not to get taken down.
Yeah, he does. He does deal a lot of damage, by the way, even with only Power Treads and Falcon Blade. And you'd be surprised just how much this man can do with the Clinks this early on. So, all things said and considered, I do think that he might be the difference maker for Tidebound. Maybe some rotation through the Twin Gate down bottom as well is possible. We'll see.
A bit of a misleading amount of damage when he's attacking the Tidehunter. It feels like Shiro doesn't do anything, but other heroes would definitely feel the pain.
He's also queuing up Mjolnir. That's what he's going for. I believe this item is perfect for him in this game as well.
That was very fast from Quinn. Gets the Arcane Rune instantly into a smoke. Has Tofu coming with him. No level 6 just yet, but very, very close to it.
Yeah, he will be scouted. Shiro running straight into Tofu right now.
Tree being placed, and Shiro will be getting himself away. You needed a dust if you wanted that kill.
I was talking about maybe him doing the play, but it's actually the TB. And I love this from Watson as well, just activating the Terrorblade. But they're just not ready on the other side. They have a blink now on nothing to say, it just flew out. But your follow-up damage is really not that great. The supports are struggling. Level 4 Muerta, level 4 Ringmaster.
Oh, they're going to try around the mid lane, maybe to go for Quinn. With Shiro being in position to do the damage, maybe they will just have enough. Going in, Dragon Tail connecting, silence as well, and they do get the kill. Beautifully done by Tidebound. Their lineup looks like they can't get kills, but they managed to scrape one finally 11 minutes in.
Yeah, they managed to scrape one, and they're gonna scrape this tower as well, it seems like. But that was, I mean, that was Quinn with what, 60-50% HP as well, sitting on the ramp. I'm not sure if they would be able to do that as easily if he was full on resources. Keep in mind that there's a huge stack in the triangle as well now being taken by Watson.
Getting that one going his way. I still think that this is kind of fine for Tidebound, because when I look at it, I feel like Gaimin could be getting kills. They could be applying pressure. They could be shoving in the waves. And sure, they are shoving in the waves, but they're not getting any kills. And you're just not using your Ravage. You're not using your Mortimer's Kisses. It is allowing Tidebound to get to the timings that allow them to play the game.
Yep, absolutely agree. I think that after the laning stage and the way it went, at least they are getting experience on the supports. They lost the Shrine, and it's usually a massive loss when you're playing Dota right now. But Ringmaster is getting closer to the level 6. Muerta still not even 5, but getting something out of the mid lane at least. In comparison, by the way, Melody is level 9 on the Tinker.
Yeah, I mean, and he has 1,000 gold more than any of the other supports. He's actually close to the Ember than he is to the other supports, and that's, I don't know if that's going to be changing. Sand King, they need some vision for him. Dust will be used, but Bach goes to the other side. He did dodge the dust in 12 seconds. He's gonna have a sandstorm once again. Goes to the low ground. The chase is on. Ravage available if they want to use it, but they need the chase. He's gonna be going for a TP out, and that's gonna be forcing out the Ravage. At least something for Bach. He might try to deny himself. In the end, that's not gonna be successful. Tofu from the other side shoots him down.
Oh, look at Daze just running into their triangle. There's no Sand King, so he doesn't really care about any other hero that they've got who can actually take him down. I mean, this Tidehunter is, I feel like, basically unkillable. Even with the Sand King, he's about to finish off a pipe.
Yeah, pretty much immortal at this point. And I do like how he's playing. Finally, GG are understanding, let's go for a kill and just run forward. And Ace, he took down that mid lane tower, went to use the Ravage on the Sand King. Now he's posturing very aggressively on the map.
Yeah, it's also minute 14 Wisdom Shrines that are available, so we'll see if they go for them or if they maybe go for a kill in the Dire jungle.
Hero is under some wards and sentries as well. Needs to be a bit careful about what he does. GG are gonna decide not to fight at this point. Are still not looking great for Tidebound. We'll see if they're gonna be changing it soon. Of course, guys, the exclamation mark F hasn't changed. Our socials haven't changed. Be sure to follow them for all the amazing content that the Fissure is gonna be putting out in this, and of course in future tournaments as well. Yep, 7 camp stack.
He's stacking some for himself, stacking some for the Terrorblade as well, who's on top of the net worth charts right now. And I know the game is not looking that bad for Tidebound, but I feel it might be a bit worse. They will go on Ace here, by the way.
And he is all alone. Blink stun, Will of Wonder being used as well. Silence from the Muerta, and they should be able to take him down without the Ravage. He cannot protect himself. Epicenter in the end, not even needed.
That's 5 heroes, by the way. every single hero went on top of this Tidehunter who was playing in their triangle. Like, he's playing in their triangle minute 15 without any backup. Up to this point, it was kind of really hard to kill him. But with the Maelstrom on Clinks, I feel like there's enough mixed damage. Obviously, there was enough mixed damage to take him down.
It should be a Tormentor. It is taking a long time here. The repair bots are allowing them to stay healthy, and Malady is the laser. Now he's going to be having that warp flare.
It's okay, right? Like, not the worst. I'd say Cookies maybe the same level of strength when it comes to the shard. Maybe even better on Tofu.
Probably, right. For this part of the game, the Cookie would have been better. But I think as the game progresses, the warp flare actually becomes a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's 5k gold lead now for Gaimin. Being very, very big. This Terrorblade especially, completely untouched. Watson has a Manta. He's going to be getting a shard next very, very soon. And they still have pretty deep vision in the enemy jungle.
Yeah, they're going straight for it. Looks like they might find someone here.
Aggressive posturing from Quinn. Gonna be looking towards the Ringmaster. He gets out of vision just in time to survive. Definitely wants something, and finally the Ringmaster will get caught. He's gonna be using Tame the Beast, escape act being used, get himself away there, and some heals will be coming through. Also protected by the Crimson Guard. It is gonna be the Tinker that dies first. Quinn, he really doesn't do any damage to that Crimson, and Bach showing that his item choice is again perfect.
Yeah, perfect item choice. Like, so many different players would perhaps go for a Blink at this point, but the Crimson Guard, absolutely massive. And now he has a Veil on top of that, so all in armor, basically, as he's going for Shiva's next, right? Like, armor and damage amplification. Working out in that fight. Ringmaster is such a hard hero to kill, but why might not be?
He has been kind of the standard punching bag for GG. They killed him 3 times out of the 4 kills that they do have.
They might catch Bach as well. Ember is on him.
Well, that is a Crimson Guard Sand King, so they're gonna think twice about going for him.
Yeah, a very tanky hero to go for.
So, his item choice might actually win them the game because it's gonna delay so much. And of course, Clinks needs a lot of time. He did buy a shard, so this Clinks now with the Burning Barrage, it's gonna be a very fast farmer.
Absolutely. Mid lane Tofu.
They're gonna go on him. Impalement Darts after the stun from the DK, Tame the Beast. Shiro also comes in with some of the spells, and that's more than enough for a kill. Finally, Tidebound are starting to dish out enough damage to be able to threaten heroes.
Yeah. Shiro has his shard, so like, he can actually join in most of these fights, at least with Burning Barrage. Just use it and back out. And he's been joining a lot of these little skirmishes. They might even go on Quinn here.
They're gonna try. Blink, DK stun, Wheel of Wonder being used as well, and the calling as well there. Even the defense matrix isn't going to be enough. All the spells lined up perfectly and will get them a kill. Tidebound just getting kill after kill here in the mid lane.
Yeah, they're really coming back into the game with these small little pickoffs, which look easy on paper, but you still have to execute them very well. You have to dodge all these wards that they have been successful at dodging so far.
Hero is now being pretty fast around the map. He bought his Hyperstone, so Mjolnir will be up in no time. Right now, GG are not sure what they're to do, and they're thinking about Roche. They have some minus armor plus the Terrorblade. What's the next move for Gaimin? Maybe try to solidify their lead.
Like, they have it all. You have a pipe, you have a blink on Tidehunter. You could be forcing some objectives out, but maybe they are feeling like they're not in much of a rush, because you also have Melody. Tinker is farming quite a lot. Like, Tinker has overtaken Ember,
like, by a decent amount, and it
might
continue. Is this maybe a problem for Gaimin that the Ember is just struggling this much?
Well, I would say so. It definitely isn't great when your position 5 has higher net worth than your mid laner.
Smoke. Tidehunter has his Blink Dagger shard, still 200 gold away from it. Scan was used. Tidebound, they know roughly where their opponents are at. They might be closer to you than what you expect. Quinn, leading the charge. Trying to find his place in this game. They're going to be seeing a career from Y, but they don't want to be killing this Dota any longer. Going to be looking towards nothing to slay. Slide of Fist chains. Let's slow down their back. He instantly TPs in. This is the protection with the Crimson Guard. Bring in on him. Crimson Guard now is going to be popped. They maybe just wanted that spell to be used. Threatening with the Epicenter. Hasn't used it a single time in this game.
TS, he's jumping in.
He went very deep with a Tinker. They want to finish him off. Double defense matrix, and he's still gonna die there. Willow Under keeping in place. Ravage is gonna be connecting onto all of them, and the Terrorblade from the high ground bot. He doesn't have vision for him. Finally, somebody's coming closer, but where's the dust? The Sand King will just be fine. He tries to get away. Maybe burst strike to the high ground. He does make it out. And Slaughter of Fist not gonna be there in time to get the connection.
Oh man, that dust didn't even connect on him. Like, he could have stayed for a while longer in the sandstorm. Good that he didn't, because they also have a sentry on the snap. But it certainly looks like if Gaimin want to get the pick off, they need to commit the Ravage. And that's a problem. And they need to maybe even commit, because of this Ember not having any farm, they don't have any cheap spells to use to dish out the needed amount of damage, at least. So they have to commit a meta, a Ravage, something like that, maybe even Mortimer's Kisses. Or they're just not getting these kills.
Used both in that fight, just didn't work out. This Tinker, this Clinks 4-0 and 2. I mean, he has participated in every single kill. Sure, it's only 6 kills, really not that big of an amount, but Shiro has definitely been making this hero work.
Absolutely. He's a really damn good Clinks player. There's something about this hero being played a lot in the Chinese region. There's an Orchid, by the way, on Watson as well, which is an interesting approach from him.
Sure.
Mid lane smoke.
Deep toss onto the Tinker, defense matrix, way too late. They're going to be going through it with the damage, and the stuns will last long enough. Now Ace gets close as well, going to be using the pipe. The body blocks being used. He doesn't have the phase boots right now. Willow Wonder being used. Cookie doesn't get him away from it. He's still going to be looking at it. It does expire, but in the end, the dead shot takes his life. Sleight of Fist win. We talked about it. He is just not that strong. Watson going to be joining in on the fight. He has an Orchid, nothing to say. Instantly pops the BKB. He'll be fine. At least for now. Shiro very low, doesn't want to fight, and they feel like this could be their opportunity. The Cookie does connect, nothing to say. Luckily for him, he still has his BKB, and there it is. Bach finally joining in on the fight, just walks to an Ember. They take him down with ease.
Yeah, they have so many solutions for the Ember now, and he's going for SNY. I mean, it's good this game. It's good almost any game, but they already have Atos calling. This Muerta is sitting on a 1600 gold, going towards Aghanim's. Already has the point booster, of course, because of the greedy enchantment that she's got on Searing Signet. Like, this is... I feel like the Ember might need an BKB even soon.
Things are not looking good for Quinn, and this is the problem, right? His Ember should have been the playmaker for the team, somebody who sets it up for the Mortimer's Kisses, somebody who sets it up for the Tinker to potentially start off the fight with getting a hero low if you can't kill him. But with no amount of farm, he just can't do it.
Yep, it absolutely feels that they are missing that poke. They're missing that impact a little bit. Hence the Orchid, I would say, even on the TB to help out in these fights. Maybe a Bloodthorn down the line, we'll see from Watson.
You're probably thinking, guys, we have to kill somebody. Somebody has to die, and somebody on Tidebound is dying in the last couple of fights.
Yeah, and one of the main culprits is the Ringmaster, right? Like, he's got Glimmer Cape, he's got the Escape Pact, he's got his whatever they're called, the item spells, the Carney gifts that he brings to the table.
Sure. Souvenirs.
Is the right, yeah. Dark carnival souvenirs.
So that is true. It's just another reason to be afraid of clowns, basically, or carnivals. Good thing we don't have too many of those left, but I would have liked to experience maybe a 1980 carnival. Quite cool either way, though. Gaimin, they were in a smoke, trying to find something. They find pretty much nothing, and forget that he needs to be very careful not to come close. Shiro, of course, was under a sentry.
One mistake that you could make if you're Tidebound is to go on a Tide Hunter under a tower. Because you're playing against the Tinker Tide, you probably can't blow him up before the Ravage. I feel like one of the reasons why they didn't go for him is it's usually not very healthy for you to make that play.
There's the spotlight. We were wrong. It's not gonna be the useless hero that gets the shard. It is gonna be the one that needs it. So now those illusions from Watson are gonna be in a lot of trouble. That spotlight actually lasts for a decent amount of time.
It's pretty good, but they will not be contesting this Roshan. It seems like a free Rosh for Gaimin.
Might not be free if you get that tower in the bottom lane. And they are doing a decent amount of damage right now. I don't know if they can take it out. Doesn't seem like it.
And they got the shard as well, right? Like that's the bonus. And nothing to say, by the way, just because this is probably the best Dragon Knight that I have seen from the mid lane that went for the standard build, like Maid Slayer, Blink, BKB, when it comes to amount of farm that he's got. As he is almost with the nullifier, like he almost completed it. And this is a massive item this game versus the Tinker.
Yeah, your defense matrix isn't going to be that big of a deal. Planet trying to survive there with a Glimmer Cape. Misses and Tame the Beast now. Wheel of Wonder being used just to keep everybody else at bay. Shiro will get ravaged. They do have the connection there with the silence. Mortimer's kisses. They will finally get the kill. Now going onto the poor Ringmaster as well. He was trying to at least get Tofu down unsuccessfully.
Yeah, that was massive punishment. That was like Shiro could have just decided to let the Ringmaster fall, right? As he was being ganked by a lot of heroes, but decides to help instead and gets punished for it. He has no facet to help him get away, right? He went for suppressive fires, so no BKB on him, no mobility.
I assume you might not be able to use the Death Pact if you have the Tide Shard on you. So maybe that's the reason he didn't go for the engulfing step. It's because he wouldn't have been able to use it, as they do find another one. Y does remove the anchor. The Warp Flare pushes him back a bit. Nothing too big.
Yeah, for sure could be one of the reasons. After the BKBs, there of course will be a bit better, and they are buying BKBs on all their cores. Sand King queuing one up, Klinks as well. Already has the Mithril Hammer. Getting closer to it. I think Gaimin have stabilized this game. It looked a bit rough. They were getting picked off. So, looking a bit nicer right now.
Their timings hit quite nicely. The Blink Shard on the Tide, allowing them for some kills. And of course, they do have the sieges to push their advantage. Gold Lead is now non-existent, and Tidebound are the ones moving with the smoke.
Yeah, they do have that nullifier, right, that we talked about on DK. He has completed it. Keep in mind that even though Sand King is not with them, he has travels. So it's not that hard for Bach to connect.
If he'll be able to do it, the Klinks is shoving out the bottom lane, but having the right read. They want to play on their own terms, and that's going to be around mid.
Bot lane Quinn.
They want him. Wants to push out this wave. Gonna get stunned up, nullified as well. Unreal that they caught him once again. Tinker gonna be TPing in just to die as well. Yeah, he's not taking that much damage. Warflare pushing back the Dragon Knight. He's thinking about getting closer. Does have the Ravage. BKB TP out. There was no other way to survive. Nothing to say.
Yeah, when I saw those travels, I wasn't sure. I didn't see the creep, if it was Dire or Radiant, if it was Sand King or the Tinker. Almost getting a kill on Tinker, but yeah, they did get what they came for. Big pick off on the Ember.
Yeah, they used the Nullifier onto the Ember Spirit. If they hadn't, you probably killed the Tinker, but the Defense Matrix is just a little bit too strong. Not remove it.
Yep. So far, so good.
Yep.
For Tidebound.
They are again delaying for those BKBs, as you mentioned. Shiro got his just right now delivered, and Sand King is a little bit less than 2,000 gold away. So with the farming pace that he has continued to stay within this game, shouldn't take too long.
Absolutely, and it's not like it's easy to kill him, but Planet is also not an easy kill here for Ace, is he?
Well, he is gonna try either way. Escape Act being used, Mortificus is from afar. Escape Act will expire. He does use the mech. He's surviving for a pretty decent amount of time somehow. Still alive, not for long, of course. Will die on the other side.
In the back.
They do find Tofu, so we'll be able to get him down. Now looking towards the Terrorblade. He's one with the Aegis. So even if you kill him, it's not that big of a deal. He did use the Metamorphosis, so he definitely would help. Why? Going for a TP out after he got sundered, and nothing to say. Not allowed to get himself away. Didn't have the BKB. Finally, why? Will die. As Ace uses the Ravage onto the 3 remaining heroes. They want the cores now as well. Nothing to say. Getting his BKB back. That pact being used. There's the silence. Shiro wants to get himself away, and that will not be allowed. The minus armor is there. Terrorblade just needs one more hit, and he will be able to get it from the reflection to secure that one. Back now, next on the menu. That is the tankiest of them all, and Quinn doesn't want to allow him to escape. Trying to get away. Warplayer will not allow it, and now the Terrorblade is free to get those hits in. Crimson Guard this time around will not help you. Watson get the triple, and GG break the game apart.
Yeah, absolutely massive fight from GG. What's kind of crazy is that after this fight, they end up with only a 2k advantage, but still a really good pick off on the Ringmaster. I feel like this is a must hero to get first, and it was an amazing pick off because it allows everything else to happen. Also keep in mind that they didn't have BKBs. Like the Dragon Knight, unfortunately, he used his BKB on the bottom lane, right? And it was still on cooldown. So when that fight started, he couldn't pop it. And that was a massive difference because you just can't fight versus the Tidehunter. Both Ravage and Dead in the Water doing so much work.
There's the 9-second BKB from the Clinks. Pretty much didn't get the chance to do any significant damage. The Tide is now going to be getting an Aghanim Scepter, increasing the damage output from the Terrorblade and the Ember by a lot when that is done.
Yeah, for sure. It's on Tidebound now to make a play, and the way they're moving, this should be a smoke. Yep.
Going for it. There is no Ravage. You win a fight now. Set up for a potential Roche fight later on. They do see Ace. And as well, underneath their own vision. What's going to be a great target? There's the Dragon Tail. Instantly, the Tinker is coming in. The Wheel of Wonder. Well, it is not going to be doing too much. Watson, he did pop the BKB. Trying to find a Sunder target. And use a defensive one on his teammates if he wants to. From the other side comes Tofu, Scatter Blast, slowing him down. Why? Standing his ground. He does have Pierce. He's gonna protect him. And Quinn going in just way too deep. He's just gonna get deleted instantly. Into 5 heroes he goes, and that is not a place you can survive.
I really think he needs a BKB. Like, this is... Sometimes you can afford not to because you're just having a great game and you're an item ahead, but even with the Tinker saves, I think he still desperately needs it. But both of these teams, I feel like whoever gets the right jump on the right target wins. If you jump the wrong targets, you just can never get these fights going your way. Like, you jump the TB that has Sunder, BKB, and a Tinker behind him, you're probably not taking that target down. These supports probably are the best ones to go for if you're Tidebound.
We'll see if the Sand King at some point does get a Blink Dagger. I feel like taking a Terrorblade down from 100 to 0 without the Blink on the Sand King is just never going to happen. And I'm not sure. Extended fights, Tidebound are good at them. But then again, if Ace can save his Ravage and use it once you don't have any more BKBs, it is going to be a problem.
It's kind of crazy because both teams are really good at extended fights, right? Like on one side you have so much sustain and so much damage from Tidebound. On the other, you have a Tinker, like the Lord Almighty of prolonged fights. Just one defense matrix after another, March of the Machines, healing everyone. They have a Bloodthorn, by the way, on TB. That's some nice additional damage though.
Thorn Ravage. This Tidehunter now is huge with the Krill Eater. Gotten to a point where he's very, very scary. Unused. Let's connect. Let's see if Tidebound can get out in time. Just in time. Everybody wait. Shiro? That is very greedy coming out from the Clinks, TPing out and actually gets himself away. Dust used a bit too late.
Oh, that's insane. Literally a split second earlier and they kill him. Could have maybe risked the Ravage on Tide, but I don't think he noticed when the TP started going, so would be very risky. Now Ace.
Want him. He's isolated all alone. He doesn't have a way to get out of this one. That is going to be a huge kill just before Roche. He doesn't have a buyback. Tidebound.
That's Roche? Yeah.
Yep.
He's basically their only front line. Without the... You can still kind of send the illusions, maybe Morty's kisses, but I don't think they can defend this Roche now.
Yeah,
not for long at least.
Tidebound might just decide to run at you like madmen. It's the illusion that you mentioned and how they know that this is happening. The question is, what can they do about it? Clinks, when he starts dealing damage, it's quite a lot. Mortimer's kisses, they're coming in, raining down, escape act being used. Pretty soon those kisses will end, and there it is. You can continue 35 seconds more.
It's just very, very easy Roche, I would say, for Tidebound. And a couple of plays that were maybe a bit unnecessary from Gaimin. They left their Tide all alone on that top lane.
Very, very weird, right? A big mistake. And I get it, sometimes dying close to the enemy base is fine. Not just before the Roche is going to spawn. You just cannot allow yourself to do that.
Missing the Clink skill into a Tide Death, into a Roshan. Just a perfect series of events for Tidebound. And now we, of course, talked about the Terrorblade and what he's got. The Clinks has a full Reverence Brooch. Mjolnir going for some mobility with the Pike next. He is basically where you need your Clinks to be as a carry. Like, this is it. These are the items.
He also has his level 20 talent, so he's going to be quite tanky with extra death back health.
Yeah, serrated Shiv as well for some lifesteal with the Vampiric Enchantment.
Things are really looking solid for Tidebound right now, but let's see what they can do with the sieges.
Well, Quinn might be the target.
They do want him. There's the stun. Nullifier Gleipnir from afar. The Force Staff doesn't do anything when you're nullified, and a dead shot just to finish him off. Things are looking easy for Tidebound in the last Ravage. Nothing to say. They want him dead. They will be able to get him. Tidehunter now making a huge difference, and it's time to run Shiro. Think about fighting BKB TP out is your only play at this moment. Tidebound, they did find an opening now. Bach is next on the menu again. They don't have the dust. They did have one. BKB being used. No TP available. Burrow Strike in a second. Bach, where will you go? You go out of the river, going towards where his tier 2 used to be, and now he's just juking them, taking them for a ride. The scanner will be used, but can you find it? Where's the ankles of Gaimin Gladiators?
They have
all of them broken. But yep, he is gonna be going under a ward. Bach now, you know where he is. They do want to catch him. Tinker from the other side, TPing out. Did he really do this? Bach is just playing this tournament out of his freaking mind.
Yeah, and the tips as well, like will go his way, I'm sure. There you go for Mace. Like, really good plays from him. Nice little jukes to go out, but still, even with him surviving, not the worst fight, I would say. They did commit a buyback on Quinn, which is very costly though. I feel like even without him buying back, they had that kill on Dragon Knight. But yeah, they still committed it.
There's gonna be a decent amount of gold now onto GG as everybody has a shard. 455 gold each. That is a pretty solid amount. Tinker is getting a Lincoln Sphere. That's actually quite huge. Burrow Strike and the Dragon Tail, both of those spells are gonna be problematic to land.
It's just gotta... I'm not... have to wait for Quinn to get the BKB. I feel like the game will be a lot easier for them. Or just play with him being a bit more defensive in the backlines, because if they find him again, he doesn't have a buyback. This is very dangerous.
They're looking towards him. The Tinker is being in. The stun that's connected to Lapar as well. He's going to be in so much trouble. Wheel Hunter being used as well. And also, Tinker is looking towards the wheel and he will die too. That's 2 heroes dead. Ace will be next on the menu. He just got his Ravage. If you use it now, you won't have 2 of your heroes. You won't have Ravage, but they're all together. Mortimer kisses Watson, trying with a damage block. Finally going to be going in to save his buddy. Shiro standing his ground, finding Watson. Let's see who's going to be the stronger carry. It seems Watson for now, but he needs to run as his BKB. It is expiring. Right? He does finish off Y, but at the cost of his own life. That Gush was a good snipe, but definitely not worth it.
Absolutely not worth it. He does not have Ravage, he does have buyback, but the problem is he's like their main high ground defense. Like the spam of Gush is probably the best that they can do, and they might...
No meta.
Yeah, no meta. You have everyone besides Y. This is 100% the push.
They're very good at pushing. Shiro, nothing to say. At least they lost the dragon form. The Guardian Greaves.
They don't have any tier 2s, by the way, besides this one on mid lane. So that's the only side that will be taken down. At least the melee, the range does survive. But overall, a disaster for Gaimin. Not only do they lose the Ember, but they also use their Ravage afterwards, which isn't successful at all.
It's weird. I feel like Gaimin have been playing this game clean, 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 huge mistake, then clean, 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 then another huge mistake. And it has happened over and over again. Those huge mistakes have put him in a position where now Tidebound are in an awesome spot.
They add up. The net worth advantage, strangely enough, is not like massive from Tidebound. And when I say strangely enough, that's basically due to the Tinker, right? Like he's farming out of his mind. Of course, Malady still sitting on 15k net worth.
At that bottom lane of GG, the 2 guys, Watson and Malady, who have played together for a very long time. They're the ones keeping them afloat in terms of net worth. Everybody else is kind of struggling.
Yeah, 32k on Watson. And you could see the impact that this man can make in fights, right? Like if the Ravage connects properly, he can tear them apart, but they need something extra from their other teammates as well.
Tidehunter has 4,000 gold in his bank, so Refresher could be next on the menu, but let's see if they can do something right now. The smoke is up, Ravage as well. Watson trying to find somebody, and the Tidebound, they feel like there is something coming their way, so they will smoke as well.
Yeah, keep in mind the Tidebound, they're very close to level 25 on Shiro too. He's just got it, so now they have 25 on Klinks, 25 on Nothing to Say as well. Some really nice talents that they just got.
Went for the -9 seconds on the strafe. I have seen Tar Bomb being picked up in the past as well. I haven't seen too many this meta, but we'll see how this works out for him.
It's just a nice little DPS bonus, right?
Yeah, you pretty much have no downtime.
Basically, yeah.
Lotus.
Another smoke, by the way.
Underneath the scan, instantly they know what's coming their way. There is a refresher on the Dragonite, so that's a double BKB. You're gonna have to deal with Planet on the high ground just to get away there. I did connect on him with a sleight of fist. Going in, gets stunned up. Win again. Always. He's going way too deep. And next to the wheel, he will die. Now he doesn't have a buyback. The defense matrix protecting Ace. They will put the Lincoln Sphere on him as well. Instantly broken. The bug going in. He doesn't care about your blubber. He's just going to be taking everybody down. The ground is shaking. And GG are dying because of it. Malady, he's protecting himself. But who's going to be protecting Tofu? Bach gets a double stun as well to end the 2 supports too. And that is going to be 4 heroes dead. And an opportunity for Tidebound to push their advantage even further.
They paused the game, it looks like, but this was just such a clean fight from Tidebound. Something had to have went severely wrong for GG in their idea how this fight was supposed to happen. I know that they just got an Aghanims on the cookie lady, on Snapfire. I don't know why I forgot her name, but the Aghanims was actually in the backpack. So she needed to move a bit further, move it into the inventory to maybe have a save. Maybe that was the idea, but Tofu, he just couldn't get there on time, and it was basically suicidal if he tries to follow up his Ember Spirit. So he didn't, and Ember just dies. At this point, he's been building the BKB for 15 minutes, it feels like. It's just a very sad Ember game, unfortunately, for Gwyn.
Imagine if that's their idea, that they're going to be saving the Ember with the Gobble Up. Well, it's almost impossible for a Snapfire, even with the Blink Force, to follow him that deep. But even if you do, Calling, Wheel of Wonder, Burrow Strike, too many things to too many things to just keep you at bay. I don't think that's a good plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Hard agree. It's just so hard to save anyone if you're on the side of GG. There's also a refresher DK, by the way, that we're just seeing. He has enough gold almost for an overwhelming blink on top of everything else. And luckily for GG, Roshan did not spawn that quickly. So they'll have all their heroes up to perhaps try and defend it.
Heroes and their spells. Their last couple of fights haven't been looking the greatest. What is the way for GG to fight, though, right? We have been seeing definitely a couple of examples of what not to do, but what are they supposed to do and how should they approach the fight?
If they could get like some jump on the Ringmaster, I still feel that would be the best target to blow up quickly and first, because he just brings so many saves to the table that killing anyone else fast enough is probably not possible. There's a Satanic on Clinks.
Let's see. We're sending in the Remnant, and Hero will be getting the Aegis and everything that goes with it. The cheese is still on the ground, though. He can get that Shiro. He does get the cheese. Spotlight being used. Morty's Kisses from afar. Shiro will be eating that cheese just to be able to save his BKB.
He ate the cheese, but this is it for Gaimin. They need to move back now.
A lot of things. Here's the Ravage, and again it's Gwyn that's gonna be caught. He's baiting in for the Ravage. Cookie to the low ground, not enough. That's too much damage on the Dragonite from the high ground. He wants to kill Tofu as well. Great Healing Lotus being used just to survive. And now without the Ravage, he can chase forward to the Tidehunter. He's no longer a threat to anybody on the Tidebound side.
I think this might be game. Like, there's no Ravage, no buyback on the Ember, or on the Snapfire. You have everything.
But he can go forward. Bach is also level 25. He hasn't even used his Epicenter. There's the banner being used. Watson? He is going for a split push.
He's going for probably a throne play. That's the only thing logical here. Yep.
Well, he is going to try to do it, but he doesn't have tier 4. He's going to be losing the Tinger, who doesn't have the buyback. Same is true for the Tidehunter. The throne has been exposed, and you do not have a glyph on GG. His attempted play on Watson, the only thing he could have done is just not going to be doing anything right now. Tidebound, they were in a better position. They end the game and are now one game away from going to the grand finals.
That was such a cool performance from Tidebound. Everything that they've done in this game, like they itemized properly. That was a little bit harder to do, I would say, in this game than in some other ones. There wasn't like